Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers, if you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money, so we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
You are listening to Primatech Files, a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things heroes related. I am Lilith, and on the hunt for specials with me, as always, is
Ricky. Today I have chocolate glazed donut vape liquid. Yay.
Does it taste good?
It's not that bad, actually. It's one of those ones that I'm going to have to probably, as soon as I finish the amount that's in, I have to change it to something else because I can't do like a whole bottle. But anyway, yeah, it's not that bad.
Up for discussion today is episode 404, Hysterical Blindness. More like hysterical insanity, but whatever. This is better than last episode, at least.
That's not saying much, though.
But at least it's saying something positive. Let's just get into this. The original air date was October 12, 2009. It was written by Joe Pokaski. It was directed by S.J. Clarkson. I think that's the first and last time we ever saw them. What about the synopsis?
Synopsis. Sylar wakes up with no memories. Claire discovers that there is more to her new roommate than what she already knows. Peter helps Emma to better understand her ability. Samuel seeks out a new member to the Carney family.
That is derogatory. Please don't say Carney.
I'm sorry. Carnival. Carnival.
Oh, God. Also, I guess I would add in major plot points and players, Peter connects with Emma, and an amnesiac Sylar is interrogated by the authorities. Amnesia is a weird word when you try to break stuff down. Oh, we met Mrs. Cummy.
Who is she? Oh, yeah. Waffles, yeah?
Yeah, Waffles, Captain Lubbock, and Kira Hayback, as well as Madeline Gibson and Rebecca Taylor. Yeah, lots to discuss, so let's just get into the breakdown.
So, we'll start off with, I guess, Peter, and then move on to Emma, because, that's not very long. Like we've said previously about Claire being the kind of special counselor, kind of Peter's taking on that role, just in the terms of with Emma, and he's been not a dick, but he's just been just doing his job, and that's all. And yeah, he kind of wants to start empathizing with people, which would help considering that was his power to begin with. It's just him trying to empathize with Emma, and Emma's just not really having any of it, because Emma's at the moment, she's kind of hiding from life, just in terms of how she works. She's obviously wearing the headphones, just, hoping that no one actually has to speak to her. It seems like the only reason she's around at the moment is just to give Peter someone to react to or interact with. But I do like the fact that, they're bringing back that kind of season 1 vibe of someone coming into their powers and having to learn more about it. Whereas in season 1, everyone kind of knew about, not everyone, but everyone kind of came about together. It's just this one person that they're kind of having to teach about the powers, because she obviously doesn't have anyone around her who can explain it to her. So yeah.
I just have to say that I find this character kind of odd, and I don't appreciate the representation, because she is deaf and the actress that plays her is actually deaf too.
Yep.
And I don't know, it was just like that had always rubbed me the wrong way about the character of Emma, I guess, and I just kind of can't get past it.
Okay.
And,
is it not
hysterical blindness thing?
Yeah. Is it not because of her extremely blonde hair and her extremely dark eyebrows? because that's what was very off-putting for me the whole time. Like every time I see it, I was like, just dye your eyebrows. But yeah, no.
I think that was like a late 2000s thing though.
Oh, very
like in the aughts. That was like a thing, so it didn't bother me. But also the hysterical blindness, I was just like anything hysterical relating to a woman, it just makes me feel like I'm in the 1800s.
I suppose, yeah. That's
so it was just like all bad on this account for Emma. Like Emma had no chance of me liking her ever at this point.
So she's essentially this season's kind of Maya.
She's Daphne.
Daphne
was that season's Maya, so yes.
Yeah, because I was going to say, they've given a woman the power of crying. So yeah. The thing about her powers are that's something that actually happens, right? Synesthesia. However you pronounce it.
Synesthesia.
Yeah,
it comes in varying forms. Some people think that they're dyslexic because they see colors in letters, they have associations with it. Her particular form of synesthesia is the classic definition or whatever.
I kind of like the fact that her powers are a bit more real world, and they can just kind of be it's something that she can go to a doctor for, and they can say, oh, it's synesthesia, as opposed to, oh, you've got empathic mimicry, because, no one really knows about that. But with her powers, they hint at quite a bit. Obviously, she plays instruments, and people start gravitating towards her. The aspect of her power that I really like is something that happens at the end, which is where she uses sound as kind of like a concussive force. I really like that, and I don't think they played with that enough. They kind of
save that till the end of the season, really.
Yeah, and there is something else that I wanted to bring up, and it seems like the only reason she had this kind of power is so that they could get the sprint theme in as many times as they could, because that's what it is, right? So yeah.
Yep.
They were over the kind of Nissan Versa at this point, and the Nissan Cube, so they had to get sprint in there somehow. And
sprint has always been a part of the show too.
Yeah. But, having the people's phones wasn't enough. They had to get the theme tune in, so yeah. What should we move on to next? We should move on to Sylar. Yeah.
Okay, so we open this episode with Sylar as he's digging himself out of the grave, and then he's walking down the road, and then this police guy stops. His name's Captain Luddick, and he's he assumes he's drunk, and then he turns around and sees that Sylar has bullet holes in his clothes, and then he's orders him to the ground and arrests him instead of trying to help him. The man has bullet wounds in his clothes.
Yeah,
it's not like he's holding a gun at you. He could be hurt, endangered, anything. You're okay, whatever. Don't like you already, sir. Even if it is Sylar.
How dare you, Winston Zedmore, you bad Ghostbuster.
I know, right? Who's afraid of a Sylar?
I know.
Afraid of no Sylar.
Star Trek was gone now, and they were going to slowly start over the seasons bringing in Ghostbusters. So Rick Moranis probably would have been next. So yeah. Anyway.
Oh God. So that whole thing. He gets hauled into he's in Baltimore. And then this lady named Madeline Gibson, she arrives, and she's this psychiatrist, and it's her first day on the job. Now, where do I know her from? This black lady, where do I know her from?
I thought...
She's British, right?
Yeah, when I first saw her, I thought she was the mum from The Neighbours, I think it was called, on ABC. Aliens live in a... No, it was a good show. It got good. The pilot was really bad, but it got really good as the show went on. But no, that's the only place that I kind of placed her from, so yeah.
She was in Doctor Who.
Was she? Yeah, no.
Yeah, she was also in Batman Begins. And she was in Pushing Daisies, but for the life of me, you know who I thought she was at first?
Who?
Don't even yell at me, but I thought she was the black chick from Doctor Who for a quick second.
Oh, no.
The one with the weird, just for a quick second the first time I saw it, I was no, wait, that's not her.
Freema?
Freema. Yeah. But then look, because she was in Doctor Who too, so it was just that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was just but I don't know, it was weird that they chose this. It was her first day, and then they've got the hard-boiled cop who's too old for this crap.
Yeah.
I was just this is getting bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was so weird. And she's got all this sympathy for Sylar. And
yeah,
Sylar's I'm not a killer. Wah!
So let's just get on to Sylar first, and then we can get on to the annoyingness of this kind of psychiatrist, which really grated at me at some points. But so this isn't really Sylar. This isn't Gabriel Gray. This is basically Cy Nathan, but instead of having Nathan's face, it's got Gabriel's face. And so yeah, it's still that kind of inner battle between them, because obviously it's not Sylar, because Sylar is the persona, quote unquote, is in Matt. Like, this kind of character of Cy Nathan at the moment just feels like a holding pattern until they kind of can put the Sylar kind of, the only way I can really explain it is the Sylar kind of soul back into him.
Mhm.
But I really like seeing kind of vulnerable Sylar again. I quite like it. There's no mother for him to kill this time. There's just angry cop to kind of throw across a room. And for some reason, first day on the job, psychiatrist helping a killer escape. She knows he's a killer. Like, she's seen the rap sheet with, Sylar, murderer, kind of on the thing, and she still allows him to escape. It's so weird. Yeah. Why is this woman who knows, she's harboring a known fugitive, and not even just that, she sees him like, well, she's not going to see him shoot lightning because that's away from him, but there's something pretty weird goes on, and then he gets shot, they both fall down, and she sees him like spitting out bullets from his body. Why is this woman just not like, oh, I'm a scientist, I'm a psychiatrist, I could get a field day on this kind of person, you know what I'm saying? Why is she just letting this guy escape? Because he bats the eyelids at her, and she's all enamored with him? I don't know. It's just a really weird storyline. It's basically this episode's Millie/Kelly Houston storyline, which only serves the purpose for one episode. So yeah.
I don't know, but all said and done, at the end of the day, he runs through the woods, and after he's being chased by the cops, and then he ends up at Samuel's little carnival, and Samuel tells him he's home if he wants to be, basically. That's weird. How do we end with Peter? Peter's mad that he can't establish a human connection with Emma, and then Hero appears, and then he collapses. Yeah. Also, Emma starts to be emotional, and that's when she has that weird situation where we see her throw the sound and cause all that damage. And
yeah, that freaks her out for the next episode. So we might as well get on to Claire and Gretchen, because that happens. So yeah.
I was so suspicious of Gretchen, and I was so mad when they made it what it was.
I think that was the whole point. The whole point was to kind of, she was a red herring the whole time. Yeah. I quite appreciate that, because, I'll start at the beginning. Like, you've got Claire, and she's actually got what she thinks is a normal life, and she's loving it. But at the back of her mind, you always know that she's going to be extremely paranoid because of all the situations she's kind of been in. She's always going to be looking over her shoulder.
Why, though? Like, she's literally had the two worst situations happen to her. She was snatched from her home by government agents, and Sylar got her ability. So there's literally nothing for her to worry about now.
Yeah, but she can still, obviously in the kind of first episode, she has that kind of waking nightmare of the government agents coming back to her. So she still harbours some kind of PSTD about it. And, she's always going to be suspicious about people. And rightly so, because, she's a Mary Sue. But
she can't get hurt.
I know, I suppose. But in all honesty, I would be very suspicious of anyone, because no one is as good as her best friend, Zach. So yeah.
Straight up, word, tell the truth.
So yeah, this has them joining.
Rushing. Not joining, rushing.
Sorry,
Let's get that
Sorry,
straight.
being English, I have no idea about this kind of sorority/fraternity thing. We don't have that. We just have booze. So yeah.
No, you guys have secret societies. It's okay.
Don't mention that on the podcast. No. Obviously, you've got jealous Gretchen about the sorority because she kind of wants to keep her for herself, and Gretchen has been the red herring throughout the whole thing. She's been overtly chatty about Claire. There's the incident with the flag, and the computer. And I kind of like the fact that they're kind of steering it towards Gretchen.
I'm talking about how, it was just really suspicious, and it turns out that she had a crush on her.
Okay.
It felt a bit sensationalistic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, if she is, but, we just never had an inkling that she was, at all.
I don't think that should be a big issue, because it's not her who's kind of got this inkling or who should have this kind of feeling. It's the fact that someone else has it for her and kind of puts it on her.
Her back. Just saying.
But that's what the old college try.
I know. Catch the bug, buy until graduation. I get it. I hate it. Whatever. It was just weird, and they just don't seem like, yeah. As Gretchen goes on to say later on, they're strange attractors.
Yeah, but
to be sure,
I wasn't offended by it, and I'm not saying that you're offended by it, but like I wasn't like it didn't put me out, but Heroes has always been that kind of they've given like a big range of like ethnic characters into it, and I thought that this was like the next kind of progression. Like if we had Heroes Reborn and they had like a trans character or an LGBT kind of character, I would have no qualms with it, because that seems to be what they do. They kind of make it very open to all kind of people to watch. And
yeah, but it has to make sense in the narrative, and for me it just didn't. I mean, I have no problem with it. It just didn't make sense, and it felt very sensationalistic and opportunistic at the same time. And I don't like when your quote-unquote diversity feels like that, when it feels like it's shoved in my face is all.
Okay, well, when we get into the trivia, we'll realize why it went in there. So yeah
Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that happened in this episode. So do you want to just get to everything?
Yeah, why not? Let's just get on to the recap. Cap. What? Favorite character? I am going to go with Sylar, or Nathan. I really like him being vulnerable, and this feels like a completely kind of new character, because obviously it's just the two of them mixed into one, and they're kind of battling, and I really like the kind of inner turmoil that he kind of shows. But yeah, how about you?
I'm gonna go with Claire, because like she was finally like being confrontational and not this little pushover, and she wanted to get to the bottom of things, and she's very proactive, so I like that.
So character interactions.
I guess I'm gonna go with the psychiatrist and Cy Nathan.
Okay.
/ Chaparosa.
How comes?
I don't know. I did like even though he was like whiny and weird, I still kind of he actually had chemistry with a woman. It was like what?
Fair enough.
It was like the first time I ever saw him have chemistry with a woman. So I was just like, oh, I like this.
I'm going to go with Emma and Peter, just because I think the kind of him helping her discover her power, or come to terms with her power. It's nice to see that he's kind of empathizing with someone and he's trying to help them, especially with his background in people helping him. It didn't really happen, or it happened because it was forced upon him with Claude kind of helped him but was berating him at the same time. It feels like it's a nice way that he's kind of helping her out. How about scene?
Where Claire and Gretchen are talking about sororities being social crutches and whether or not she should rush her mother's sorority.
I am going to go with when Peter and Emma see the kids singing. Even though I hate kids singing, I think it's one of the freakiest things you can listen to. I really like showing the powers at that scene, and them two both realizing that, they have the powers. But I also like another scene, which is when they bump into each other and he takes her power and he doesn't realize it. And then he starts running and the music builds up, and then he kind of stops because he's not running fast. And then he hits his legs and he carries on running, and the music builds up and then he stops. And then he's just like, oh man. And he does it one more time and it doesn't happen. I thought it was really good comedy, which is very tough to happen if you're not Hero in most of the episodes. So yeah.
Line?
No, actually, you go for your lines first, because I don't want to steal one that you like, because I always go first. So yeah,
I'm gonna actually go with Samuel, who makes a brief appearance in this episode, because he's just like, it's Robert Pepper. Like you can't not help but like him.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is my favorite part of the day. It's full of possibilities before the inevitable monkey wrenches come looking for us. But more than anything, it's about being with all of you. I know grace is a supper thing, but every morning I thank heaven and earth for our family. I thought that was really sweet. And it's like setting up like the situation where it's like you could almost side with Samuel because he's doing this for his family. He's just going in a really bad way.
I'm going to go with she was here to tell us who you are, but now we know, Gabriel, you're a watchmaker from Queens who murdered your own mother. Did you say watchmaker? I also said murder and mother. Now hands on the table. I really like that. The fact that, the first thing he picks, I'm a watchmaker. No, no, no. You're also a killer. And you
Every
killed your own.
time.
Yeah.
That's it. That's his code word. Tracy's got Ice Queen and his is Watchmaker.
And Peter's is Nathan. Well, it was. It's not anymore, but yeah.
And Nathan's is you could be the most powerful man on the planet.
Definitely, yeah. And Heroes is Destiny. Oh, this could be a new game. Yeah. How about Parkman? What's Parkman's?
No, it's baby. It's Maddie.
Yeah. Okay. Who else have we got? No, we'll leave it at that. The grades. I'm just going to go with a straight up C. It had quite a bit of character development. I like the kind of Peter and Emma dynamic, and I also like the red herring that is throughout the whole episode of Gretchen maybe being more sinister than she actually is. How about you?
I'm gonna give it a C plus. Actually, Samuel I'm coming around to it, even though he's narrating and whatnot. I'm coming around to liking him at this particular point in the season. It was better than last episode, and like by leaps and bounds. So a full letter grade.
Okie dokie. So I have a bit of trivia, which is in the episode, Gretchen kisses Claire and expresses she has a crush on Claire. In reality, Hayden Panettiere, who had admitted to experimenting with kissing girls, was the one who kind of persuaded her characters to include a lesbian for her character. She said, I kind of threw it out there. The writers put you in relationships, and I was like, can I just be with a girl or something? Let's do that. So they took it and ran with it. So it was Hayden Panettiere's own idea for that to happen. So, yes.
Well, sometimes you might not want to listen to your actors if they're not old enough to drink.
The episode features the symbol as per usual. We haven't seen that in a while that I can remember. But it's in Peter's apartment on the doorway and a sign in Claire's dorm room. And that is pretty much it.
Okay, cool. So about those graphic novels?
Yes, we have Amanda's Journey, which carries on the whole kind of Amanda. Yeah. Carries on the whole Amanda storyline. There's two parts. Part one is she's told to kind of stay away from her mother, and that's the kind of thing that makes her powers manifest, and the fact that she's alone kind of doesn't help it. Her power is spontaneous combustion. During one of her episodes, her Aunt Carol is hurt, and Peter is the one who kind of comes and helps them in his ambulance. Amanda feels that she needs to kind of stay away from her family in order to protect them, and Peter tells her that she needs to talk to someone, and she decides to go talk to her mother, which leads us on to part two, where she gets a ride with Tracy to go meet her mother, and it's Tracy kind of seeing her use her powers and kind of help her, because obviously they counterbalance each other, one with fire and one with water. Amanda's still green with her powers, and that's basically the end of that.
Okay, so both of these issues were written by Christopher Zada, and the art was by Sia Oum. For part one was a behind-the-scenes photo of Sasha P. Tierce, a.k.a. Allie from Pretty Little Liars, and then in the second one is a behind-the-scenes photo of Allie Larder.
Yes, so we have the following people joined us on the live tweets. They are either tweeting, retweeting, or faving during the live tweets. We have Juan Pablo X_X, soft_guitar 60, and Mike Schmidt 09. Oh, thank you all for joining very much.
Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/primatechfiles. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter @primatechfiles. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn, and if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80 plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that can interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RickyJDiaz, or Z if you're American.
All right, that's time to wrap it up. We want to thank you for joining us on this discussion of the Primal Tech Files. We hope you enjoyed our delightful, witty, and informative comments. Want to encourage you to follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. And don't be afraid to send in those emails and like our Facebook posts, comment, and share.
Download the podcast Save the World.